Alright everybody, hello and welcome. As always, I am Sean. This is In The Mixer, episode 164 of our Isle of Man series. Happy Thursday, wherever in the world you happen to be watching from, or whatever day of the week it is where you happen to be watching. Now, we have not played a great amount of football since yesterday's episode. We've had a couple of good wins, but pretty much we're kind of in this good run of fixtures at the moment in the front half of the season where we are bringing you guys as much of the game as humanly possible. So we're going to jump in, we'll talk about the results we've done, and then we'll talk about the plan for the rest of the week and the games in today's episode as well. Let's jump straight in. So, as you guys can see, just above my head here, we're currently sitting in 4th position in the division. 12 games played, 7 wins, 3 draws and 2 defeats, plus 18 goal difference, the best in the league, and 24 points. We're currently 7 points behind Chelsea in top spot, 6 points behind Manchester United, who've kind of just gone on a run. They lost 2 games early and then just smashed teams after that. And we're 1 point behind Arsenal as well. We do have an opportunity to maybe leapfrog them today, looking at some of their fixtures as well. City level on points with us, but behind in goal difference. Tottenham level on points with us, but behind on goal difference. Liverpool and Leicester just 1 single point behind, down in 7th and 8th. Still incredibly tight early on in the season. One bad result could see us drop down as low as 9th if other results don't go our way. Of course, in yesterday's episode, we played Manchester City, a 0-0 draw. Kind of a frustrating one. I thought maybe we could have shaded something in that. And then a 2-1 defeat to Tottenham. That's the game sometimes. The way I play the game, like loading it up and then playing individual matches and then stopping and then loading it up again, I think I invite a lot of different issues relating to results. It's hard to go on consistent runs and stuff like that if you are stopping and starting and reloading so much. But having said that, we are reloading today, so who knows, maybe we're going to be in much better form. We did have a 4-0 victory against Dinamo in the Champions League as well. This was handy because we got to rotate just a little bit, get some more run in the legs of a few players. We played Southampton in the Premier Division as well. We won 3-0 convincingly in that game, which was a fantastic result, given that they were sitting around 7th or 8th when we played them. Only downside from these games is so far, our player of the season, Ruben Martinez, did pick up a knock. He's been out for a couple of weeks, but we've also had the benefit of an international break that we've had happen off screen. That's allowed him to kind of get back to fitness. We're not going to risk him in this first match against Liverpool, but we might see him come back in for our return fixture against PSG away in Paris. If we get 3 points in that game, there is potential that we can go top of our group in the Champions League, which would be absolutely fantastic. We're level on points with them at the moment. We're behind on goal difference because they've walloped Dinamo twice, but a good result will put us in the box seat going into the last game of the group stages. Otherwise, looking at the squad, we're in good shape. Abdesamad will miss today's game against Liverpool as well due to suspension. Those things happen throughout the course of the season. But otherwise, we're doing relatively well. Most players are in good form over the last few games, which is fantastic to see. Most players have very good average ratings all across the squad for the season so far in the 10 or 12 games that most have played. As usual, there's a whole bunch of different clubs that are in for a lot of our players or interested in them. Haji is the only one that's actually on the transfer list. If we get a bit of 100k or 100 million pound, I will absolutely let him go. That's no problem at all. But there are quite a few others that we want to keep a hold of. Schaefer's want to buy Everton now. Rivera's want to buy a few clubs, thankfully. He signed a new contract last season, which took away his release clause, which is fantastic for us. Arnaud Henry has been wanted by other clubs since the minute that he signed for us, and he continues to stay and continues to be one of our better players. He does also love the club, which is fantastic that he's developed into a player that wants to be here, and I'm in his favoured personnel too, which is absolutely perfect. We should be able to keep hold of him. Maybe he'll come in and ask for a better contract. I'm not entirely sure, but he does have a few years left on his deal, as does Pablo Rivera. You'd think if we are going to have to sell those guys, if their heads get turned, if clubs start bidding, it will be for quite a bit of money. Esteban's got some clubs in for him. That's a more interesting one. Esteban's given us some issues with his discipline throughout the course of the save and the series. Fantastic player, 4.5-star current ability, 5-star potential, but I think he's been to nightclubs the night before games and during training weeks about 3 times in the last 12 months, so that might be an interesting one. And Lucas Gabriel, wanted by Tottenham, will definitely be keeping hold of him into the foreseeable future as well. Financially, we're just under our wage budget. If players do start asking for wage increases, it might get a little bit sketchy in terms of staying under that. It is one of my key things for the club vision. Work within the wage budget. So far, we're within it just. And financially, we're doing great. So maybe if they do ask for more longer contracts or more cash or something like that, maybe we do go and ask the board to give us some additional wage budget. Facilities has been the big one as well. We have had some developments relating to our training and youth facilities. They're not fully open yet, but they should be there soon. And our stadium expansion should be completed towards the end of the season, which gets us out of Goodison Park, back onto the Isle of Man, Premier League football, Champions League football on the Isle of Man as of next season, which will be absolutely fantastic. At the moment, we're up to great training facilities, great youth facilities, state-of-the-art data analysis facilities. I will wait until the end of the season, and then I'll probably ask to try and get our training and youth facilities upgraded again. If we can get everything state-of-the-art, that would be fantastic. As yet, our youth facilities have not developed anyone. and maybe we look at a new head of youth development or something like that, but no one that's come through the academy has been anywhere near first team quality. And I mean that all the way back to the start of the series. We've never had anyone come through that was above like 2, maybe 3.5 stars at best. But maybe we change that trend in the next couple of seasons if we get our facilities up to date. Looking at the squad against Liverpool, Warburton will come in for Abdesamad, who is suspended. Martinez we won't risk. We'll play Rivera and Schaefer as the front two. If we look at our past meetings against Liverpool, it's not a great record, but it's not as bad as against some of the other teams we've played in the top half. We have beaten them the last 2 times that we've played them, which is fantastic. But before that, it was a run of 4 defeats. We had a 2-0 win randomly in the middle of nowhere. We've had a couple of high-scoring fixtures as well. 5-2, 2-2, 2-1, 3-1. Hopefully, the tide has started to turn and we can get a good result today and start catching them up in the head-to-head table. And at least, I think the important part for today is staying above them in the Premier Division. That's really the key and critical task for this episode. So, I know you just saw the lineup, but we're going Mancini in goal, Warburton and Esteban as the defensive partnership. Warburton's been bitching about playing time for what feels like 2 years. We'll see how he plays today. Carlos Andre and Lucas Gabriel are Brazilian wing-backs on either side. Henri and Lind in midfield. Harold is the inverted winger on the left-hand side. Castro is the inverted winger on the right-hand side, our leading assist maker for the season. Schaefer comes in at the 10 while Ruben Martinez works his way back to full fitness. And Rivera, our captain this season, he'll lead the line up top. Looking over at Liverpool's squad, it's decent. Noam Kenny, I talk about him every time, and I'm not sure if it's Kenner or Kenny, how you pronounce his surname. I'll probably say it both ways throughout the call. But 3-star current ability, 3-star potential at 34 years of age. He's had quite the career, 75 England caps. Was at Leeds for a bit, Norwich for a bit, has been at Liverpool now for 8 seasons. Developed into quite a decent, I'd say, anchorman. Can also play in midfield if you need him to. Could also be a ball-playing defender if you retrained him in the right way. He looks to be a very solid prospect if you're looking for someone at the start of your own save. Kunikamo is their captain in goal, Brazilian goalkeeper. Brazil's a tough national team to crack. He's got 63 caps to his name at 31 years of age. Not a bad effort. Was at Santos and then Gremio. He's been at Liverpool now for 11 seasons, 345 appearances during that time as well. A decent player himself. Henri Blaise on the right-hand side. I talk about Henri Blaise every single time we play Liverpool because I think he is the single greatest winger that I've ever seen on Football Manager. 18 crossing, 19 dribbling, 17 first touch, 16 passing, 18 technique, 20 determination, 16 flair, 19 off the ball. Phenomenal physical attributes as well. Like, he's just an absolute beast. If they beat us today, I guarantee it'll be because Henri Blaise has scored a hat-trick or something like that. They've got Dylan Garner-Lewis up top as well. He's one of the English starting strikers. Assertively, we're going to say, pick up where you left off last time out. We have had a good run of form, and last time out against Southampton, that 3-0 win was a very, very complete performance. We've immediately got a injury here. Lucas Gabriel's picked up a knock. Furkan Yilmaz will come on. Bit of a downgrade. We do get a lot of forward production out of Gabriel. I can't say he's the best defender, but he is a wonderful dribbler and an excellent attacking option on that right-hand side. Looks like Goria, or Giaria, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. The player that was playing on Lucas Gabriel's side now also has a bit of a knock as well. First highlight we've seen, Lynn sends it back to Henri from the throw-in. Warburton in possession all the way back to Mancini. Just hold the ball, wait for them to commit to the press. Ball over the top to Henri, does well, plays in Esteban. Now Lind, back to Warburton again. Now Carlos Andre, wide left area. We've worked a 1v1 for Harold if he can beat the fullback. Cuts it back to Henri. Carlos Andre again, wide left area. Lind at edge of the D. Finds Furkan Yilmaz on the overlap. Looks to cut it back. It pinballs around. And Kunikamo nearly beaten by the deflection at his near post, but manages to find the save and they put it into touch. Good possession though. Kept the ball, worked it side to side, found a gap, went after it. Got 10 minutes remaining in the half. We're going to hit demand more. And everyone seems focused, which is good to see. If we can get a goal just before half time, it will change the complexion of the game. Looking at the average ratings as well, it looks like Liverpool are dealing with a lot of our attacking threats. At half time, 6 shots, 4 on target, 61% possession for Isle of Man. 6 shots, 4 on target, 39% for Liverpool. Passionately, I'm going to say I'm happy with the performance so far. Keep it up. And we've only seen the one highlight, which went our way, but we'll have a look at those average ratings or those match ratings in a moment. It might be that they're dealing with this quite comfortably, but Harold has a deep ball in here towards Castro and he's clipped the crossbar as it heads over. Kunikamo was well beaten. Maybe those half chances, maybe we're going to need to make one of them count if we're going to get the victory today. Deep ball here, Henri in possession. Ball out wide right to Castro. Deep ball towards Harold, backstick again, a good header, but Kunikamo equal to it, saves and holds. So highlight going to continue here. Ball forward to Blaise. Carlos Andre right there with him. He's going to need to stay tight if we're going to keep going in this one. Garner-Lewis out to Wiley now. Kenny back to Carlos Alberto. Jarea. First real percentage of play we've seen for Liverpool, and Blaze with the strike at the end. Mancini thankfully equal to it. Saves and holds at his near post. Wide right free kick. Castro to take towards backstick. Esteban was there, but he can only put it backside, and he didn't have a whole lot of angle to work with, to be fair to him. Salajan, their centre-back, and Carlos Alberto, even though we've seen nothing of them, are both getting phenomenal match ratings. Wiley, ball forward now. Lind with a lovely recovery in midfield. Looks to send Rivera into the channel. Peels away from one. Wide right area. What can he do? He kind of just drags the defender into the side netting. We're going to hit pause. We're going to make some subs. And I think I'm not going to worry too much about match rating, even though there's a few out here that aren't great. What I'm more concerned about is that Harold's on 64% condition. We're going to bring on Mateo for some fresh legs. Henri's on a yellow card and also on 63% possession. Condition, not possession. Assertively, we're going to say, I've got faith in you. Santana can come on. Fresh legs in midfield for both of them. We're going to use a get creative shout. Castro with a deep free kick towards back post. Schaefer's in there. Rivera's in there. I think this is going to get pulled back for offside. Linesman hasn't moved since the ball came in. A good header from Rivera. He's only a little up top, but he does get on the end of some decent crosses. We found the back of the net once, albeit ruled out. What can we do now? I've just realised we've made 3 subs. I guarantee we're about to get an injury or a red card. Furkan Yilmaz with the ball back in Esteban. I forgot we took Lucas Gabriel off early. Lind with the ball over the top. Schaefer's going to get there first. It's a lovely finish from Schaefer. Is he onside though? Linesman has stopped. We're going to see if this keeps going. Great finishing, great composure from Schaefer. He's 20 for both. We probably don't see enough goals out of him, to be completely honest, for a guy with that good a composure and finishing attribute. Wonderful ball over the top. Wonderful first time finish on his left foot. Low and hard into the far corner. Keeping to do nothing about it. And it's a go-ahead goal against what is a decent Liverpool side. Castro, deep free kick towards back post. Salajan heads it away. Muriel's going to come forward now. Santana with a great challenge. Can he send a good ball back in? Back to Esteban. Ball over the top now to Yilmaz, who's not been bad since he came on. Finds the cutback. Decent strike, and Kunakama equal to it. Can only force it out for the corner though. Good pressure. Good little passage of play that we've had here in the second half as well. Castro, ball in towards near post. Pavlovic heads away unchallenged. Garner-Lewis in possession on the right-hand side now for Liverpool. Santana stays with him. Excellent tackle. Sends it out for the throw-in. Highlight is going to continue from that spot though. Pavlovic into Blaze. Now Wiley. Switch out towards Muriel. Fresh off the bench. Wide left area. First real highlight we've seen for Liverpool. I think it was going wide, but Mancini does it well to save down to his right-hand side. 10 minutes remain. We've got no subs left up our sleeve because of my own stupidity, so we're just going to use a demand more shout. As things stand, we would go up in the third spot, 27 points, level with Man City, but head on goal difference. Just as I've said that, Arsenal have taken an 88th minute lead against Southampton, so they go above us. 3 additional minutes to be added on. We're through that now. It's a good 1-0 victory. 19 shots, 9 on target, 61% possession for Isle of Man. 17 shots, 9 on target, 39% of the ball for Liverpool. Assertively, we're going to say, well done, lads. Good win for us, and we'll just take that 3 points and a 1-goal margin. It's good enough. Like we've spoken about throughout this episode, anything can happen when you reload, but does see us stay in 4th spot. 7 points behind Chelsea in top spot. 6 points behind United in 2nd. 1 singular point behind Arsenal in 3rd position. We want to try and keep up with those teams as much as possible. Carlos Alberto for Liverpool gets the Man of the Match award. I don't think he played particularly well. I don't think he did anything that we saw. 19 tackles won though is impressive. Gabriel's going to be out 2 to 3 weeks with a back strain. That's frustrating. Paul Harold looks like he could use a little bit of a rest. I'm going to ignore that one because I need him to play against PSG. But let's maybe make use of a rest day. Everyone that just started that game, let's give him 2 days off to try and recover. We'll make those couple of changes. Gabriel, Yilmaz can start, and then we'll put Abelan on the bench as well. The benefit of having 3 right backs in the squad, I guess. And the call that we've got to make is on Ruben Martinez. We'll put him on the bench definitely, but I'm thinking maybe he starts instead of Uli Schaefer, even though Schaefer just scored. If he gets full fit, that Mexican forward too, 4.5-star current ability, like we want to try and get them out there together as much as humanly possible. Magic of editing though, we're going to jump forward to the lineups against PSG now. Alright, so just like that, we're a couple of days ahead. Now, good news and bad news. Good news, Ruben Martinez fully fit, ready to go. But the bad news is that Arnaud Henri's picked up a bit of a calf strain. I'm not going to risk him, I don't think. It's a long season. The Champions League, like we're going to get out of the group. Let's put it this way. This game's important, but it's not critical to us making it through to the knockout rounds. So I think we're going to give him a spell. Lucas Gabriel also out, but I think that's probably, it's best to take a cautious mentality. Jose Santana can come in, give him some chance, a chance to develop against a very good side as well. Abdesamad makes his way back into the lineup as well after serving a suspension last time out. Handy return for him, but everyone's fully fit. Everyone's over 90% conditioning. It's really the best we could hope for heading into this one. 2-2 draw last time we played PSG. They had some good players on that day. Morel was fantastic. Roger, their captain, had a decent game. Baraba is the best player. Patron was busy at the number 10 position. Santisteban on loan from Real Madrid looks decent. Idemar we played against when he was at Brighton. Dan we played against when he was at Chelsea. So, it's a team that I think we're kind of well suited to playing against. We have made the adjustment to our positive structure as well instead of attacking away from home. We're just going to see how that goes. We might go attacking if we need to after 30 minutes if it's not working out. Assertively, we're going to say nobody expects us to get a result, so just enjoy playing without pressure. And most players have responded well, which is always great to see. We're also going to keep an eye on, in the other fixtures, how much Roma might beat Dinamo by in the other fixture. That could become important if we lose today's game. Idemar, deep ball in. Esteban with the header away. Lind looks to send a long one over the top for Rivera. There's players in and around, but Mironov with a good header for PSG. Mihailovic, Roger, Patron out wide right to Barabe. Decent little run here. Beats a couple, and then thankfully the drive didn't have too much on it. Straight at Mancini in goal. Opening 15 minutes, and statistically speaking, it's been all PSG in terms of shots taken, but just the one highlight that we've seen for them. So maybe we're giving them shots from distance or something like that. I'm not sure how that's supposed to work. I think highlights is probably a better indication than the stats themselves. But we do have about 10 minutes remaining in the half. We're going to hit a demand more shout. If we get one highlight going our way, might put us in a good position. I think if we do get... there's a corner here. Patron, backstick ball towards Mironov, and Mihailovic has put it home. It was a decent ball in and a good header back across from Mironov. We'll check it out here in 3 dimensions. I was just about to say maybe we will go attacking in the second half, and now we definitely will. Good header from Mironov and Mihailovic. He's got 2 men around him, but he's already started doing that kung fu kick volley before the headers even come in. Back across goal. It's hard to defend against a guy with psychic powers. Morel, deep ball here. Ball into ground midfield. But you can't talk about it against Liverpool. It feels like our midfielders get dragged very wide. Patron had the whole goal to aim at and just slides that one wide. If you had found the corner, we'd be going in 2-0 down. So at halftime, 18 shots, 8 on target, 42% possession for PSG. 4 shots, 3 on target, 58% for us. But the big one goal for PSG. Aggressively, we're going to say, show me something else. And then we're also going to tactically move to the attacking roles a little bit more. Maybe I made a mistake there. Maybe we were in a good rhythm with that attacking instruction. Maybe I shouldn't have changed it. Highlight in the second half, Alcala with the ball at left back. Mironov with a long one forward. Dan with a lovely touch around the defender there in midfield. Good tackle from Abdesamad. Comes across well. Looks to send Rivera down the channel. Back to Esteban. Can we work this correctly down the right-hand side? Furkan Yilmaz gets forward. Idemar tackles him and wins it back. He's got good dribbling ability. Esteban needs to come across. Does now. Sends him to the other side. Bariba beats one touch around the fullback. Overlap here from Roger, the captain. Carlos Andre's gone through him, and it's going to be a penalty, isn't it? We're going to have to come back from 2-0 down, or Mancini's going to bail us out here massively and save us. Dan, left-footed penalty, and he's missed it wide to the right-hand side. Nothing Mancini did. Well, unless, I guess, psychologically, maybe he psyched him out of the penalty. Throw in, right-hand side, Alcala to take. Gets it back from Patron. Now, Jose Guerrero in midfield. Dan, who's been busy in this second half. Guerrero, Idemar, Alcala, very sharp passing from PSG. Alcala with the drive from the wide area, side netting though. I think Mancini had it covered. We've struggled to get a bit going in this game. We're through 60 minutes now. We're going to hit pause. Let's just have a look at ratings. It looks like Lind hasn't played particularly well. Maybe we'll bring on Haji. We haven't seen much of him this season. Castro's not had a great game either. We might bring on Frank Richard. Frank Richard was excellent in the first leg against PSG. That 2-2 draw at home. We'll bring them both on. We're also going to use a Get Creative shout. Give everyone hopefully a bit of inspiration to try and find an equalising goal. Throw in, deep on the right-hand side. Yilmaz to take. Deep ball towards Martinez, and he's clipped the inside of the crossbar. It's not crossed the line. Carlos Andre finds Richard back post. He was wide open. He could have brought it down and passed it into the net. Instead, he goes first time just beyond the far post. Carlos Andre's got a knock. It's just shit. When stuff's not going your way, stuff's not going your way. Assertively, we're going to say, I have faith in you. Make a difference. We've now got a big centre-back, a big lump of a centre-back, playing as a left wing-back. On attack as well. He's got the throw in here. Finds Santana. Can he get a reverse pass in? There's a couple of players in the box. It falls to Haji, edge of the area. Looks for the shot, and Morel with a great save pushes it around the far post. We're coming back into it a little bit, but it's very much not our strongest lineup out there. Haji puts a good ball in. It's cleared away, though, by PSG. Roger goes long forward. Furkan Yilmaz with a great header. Gets across Gavrilovic, who I think we've played against previously. The name rings a bell. We've used all 3 subs again due to injury. We're going to hit demand more. as we get into the last 10 minutes. A few players seem focused. We've had a few shots now, but 5 minutes of additional time. Our last real roll of the dice to try and get an equalising goal. Alcala with a very deep throw in here for PSG. He goes long. Yilmaz with a good header. Richard sends it forward to Martinez. We haven't seen much from the two Mexicans up top. Good pass to Rivera. Can he find the finish? It's a good save from Morel. If he had gone the other side, would have favoured a left-footed player, would have gone more into the side netting. Great save though. Haji going to take the resulting corner. Short one to Harold. Tries to cross it in immediately. He's closed down well. Don't do the short one if there's a player right there. Why is that a setting that we can put in FM21? Don't take the short corner if it's not on. We've gone for it again here. Patron's won it back. Haji wins it back in a good area. Martinez tries to bring it down, but it's eventually brought back as Martinez handled the ball. We're through the 5 minutes of additional time now. It's a 1-0 defeat. 26 shots, 10 on target, 46% possession for PSG. 14 shots, 10 on target, 54%. We did have a lot of highlights in the second half, but still, they did miss a penalty as well. I'm going to say far from pleased with what I just saw from this team. And at least everyone's responded motivated, which is good to see. But PSG, we haven't been able to beat them. And those are the sort of sides we need to be beating if we want to win a Champions League crown. Carlos Andre's injured 3 to 4 weeks. We'll leave that one to the physio. Harold is going to get a spell in the next game just to try and get him back to full fitness. It's saying PSG deserve their win. I guess if you wanted to look at that, Mironov, an 8.0 match rating. Now, where does that put us in the group? So we are still second spot in the group. We probably will come back and maybe play our game against Roma in the next episode, just to try and bring you guys the conclusion of the group stage and then hopefully also the knockout round draw. If we look forward at our schedule, that would mean that we play, maybe we do Bournemouth and Leicester off screen, and maybe we come back and play Roma as the first game in tomorrow's episode. We play cashed up Brighton as our Premier League fixture, and then hopefully after that Brighton game, I think, if we look at the schedule, so we should have the midweek game against Roma, the weekend game against Brighton, and then hopefully the Champions League first knockout round draw to close out the week. And we'll try and bring you guys as much of that knockout round competition as we can next week, of course. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. That's the part that I appreciate the most. If you've got feedback, positive or negative, if you've got saves that you want to see, things that you might want to see in FM21, updates on your own save, by all means, drop it down in the comment section below. I do respond to every single comment that I get. But more than anything, guys, I just appreciate you watching. That's the part that means the most to me. As always, I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.